Hey there, how are you? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I love Fridays. I get to go live here and I get to go live on my business page and in my avatar group. And I do my hair and makeup on Fridays. So I feel like going out to dinner on Fridays. Fridays is just my day. I like Friday. What's your favorite day of the week? I got some hand lotion going on here. Go ahead and tell me in the comments, what's your favorite day of the week? Do some people like Sundays? Some people prefer Saturdays. What's your day? Tell me. All right. Okay, here we are. We are going to get started today. We're continuing down our journey this year of breaking down 101 ways to make money in real estate. And I explain this a little bit every week that, this is the name of my book, my someday book. And these are the chapter titles that you all, my audience, has come up with. 101 chapter titles. So I am on the fly making up content to go with these chapter titles every week this week. Okay, so let me know anytime you've got some input on the subject. Please feel free to jump into the comments and let me know what your thoughts are too. All right. All right. You like Sundays after 3 p.m. That's when your weekend starts. All right. I like that. I like the sound of when the weekend starts, huh? All right. Here we go. Number 15. You can't make this shit up. Great title to a chapter, huh? You can't make this shit up. All right. So I had to think about it. What could we put to this chapter? You can't make this shit up. And I look around and I try and, I'm going to hover and be a voyeur in some large groups as we all are. And I just kind of watch what agents are thinking and going through. And I feel like a lot of them struggle because they almost think that they can make this shit up. They almost think that they don't have a legitimate business. That's really what it kind of boils down to me a lot of times. When I see agents struggling to get their businesses underway, they haven't really took the time to build a proper foundation, a proper marketing foundation, a proper funnel, a proper financial P&L and goals financially and reserves, and they don't plan, right? They feel like they can just make this shit up as they go along, but you can't, okay? If you want a legitimate real estate business, you've got to make sure that there are some aspects that are put into place, that allow you to do, big business things, right? Big business things. You don't want to be hovering on your broker's tools forever. You want to have your own website, CRM, and lead generation system so that you're not sitting there waiting around, so that you are developing your own business foundations so that you can eventually give yourself a promotion and hopefully get your broker license and become your own broker of one, right? You don't even need to have aspirations of having a big sales force just to be able to operate independently. I'm telling you, that's the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot when you are operating completely independent. And, whether you want a sales force or not is completely up to you. I think everybody should try it once, at least. You know what I mean? At least a few agents, but you never want to be in a position, as far as I'm concerned, to just be completely dependent upon that. If you are a small boutique brokerage, okay? I'm talking about under 5 agents, all right? When you start leveling up, of course, that's a different ball of wax, isn't it? Okay? All right, so just, don't make this shit up, Don't make this shit up. Legitimize your business, legitimize your brand colors, your slogan, your marketing message. Be consistent with all of those things, right? That legitimizes your business. And as your business grows, it's always going to be with you. Okay. It's going to grow from your, a new agent infant stage, right? Until you hopefully been around here a while. If you survive your first 5 years, you're doing something right, right? If you survive 5 years, because 87% of the agents won't even make it 5 years. Okay. So that's the reality of the situation. They never legitimized their businesses. They never set it up properly with a proper business account. They never treated it like a business, and that's why they're not here today. Okay. So number 15, if you want to make, 101 ways to make money in real estate, is to first not make this up. You can't make this up. When I'm working with new agents that are transitioning into a boutique brokerage, and we go step by step to make sure that we have their businesses set up properly, right from the get-go. Okay. So that everything is, done and there. If you can pass a Facebook business account verification, you've got a legitimate business, right? I'm joking, of course. All right. But number 16 is what, everything in writing. Why is everything in writing? I think I might have typoed that. Why everything is in writing. That's good. That's all right. Why is everything in writing? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you a little story. I've got a bunch of horror stories you can imagine. After about 22 years in this business, I can tell you some stories. All right. And of course, I always say, if you got to, if you're saving money, you're making money. But in this particular situation, I kind of lost money because something was not in writing. Okay. And you want to sit and think that some of your customers are your friends. But let me tell you what, when push comes to shove, there's no friendship in business. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little story I'll share with you. I had a listing with some people. I sold them this is their second home, their vacation home here in Florida. They came down every year for the races. They're race people. So, one year they wanted to sell, tried to talk them out of it. It wasn't a good time to sell. It's going to be worth double in about a year if you just hold on to it, and we're only talking about a lousy $50,000 transaction, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here, when that was top market value for that particular property. But they wanted to buy something else closer to the beach. Well, you're not going to sell something 30 miles inland and have enough to buy something closer to the beach. You hear what I'm saying? Without throwing something in the pot. They thought they could just sell and swap. And it's two separate markets, Well, anyway, let me get down to the nut and bolts of the story here, where something was not in writing properly and we got really screwed, right? So I listed the property. Of course, I've got husband and wife both on the listing agreement. That's all fine and dandy. But we had a cash buyer that popped up that made a full price offer. I flip it to one of my agents. And of course, that was probably my son. Okay. I don't want to say that out loud, but it was. And he prepared the offer and he neglected to put the wife's name on the contract. Now, when I presented the offer to them, I don't know why I didn't fix that or address that. I needed to verify that when I got back to the office. I felt like, why is he only on the title to the property? Anyway, push comes to shove. We neglected to get the wife on the contract, because when you pull up our property tax records, even though both husband and wife are on deed to the property, our tax records, for some reason, will only sometimes reflect one owner. So you really have to kind of dig a little bit deeper when you're making an offer, and even pull a copy of the deed from from the clerk's office. That's what I do now, so that I make sure that I got that correct. I'm never going to make that mistake again, right? And you only make mistakes like that once in this business, and it costed me some money, of course. Ultimately, I thought, well, it's all right. They're cool. They're cool, right? We'll just clean it up later, clean up the paperwork later, something. Well, they decided not to sell after they were in contract with a cash buyer with no inspections. Let me tell you what, that was not fun to navigate. We did get the buyer to calm down and not sue anyone. He got his earnest money deposit back and went along his way. But you'd think you were due a commission, right? But you're not. You're not. So I couldn't even collect that because she wasn't on the contract when they went to withdraw the listing. So we just put it into temporarily off the market until it expired. And they held on to it. So I got screwed, right? I got screwed because my stuff was not in writing correctly, and that's just kind of some of the things that happen in this business, and hopefully you don't get yourself sued, right? Let me see. I'm going to see some comments here. Oh, that's Kelly. Okay, cool. How come your name's not showing up? All right. Just because you aren't giving a handbook when you get your license doesn't mean you can't create your own. Do the best with the plan. That's right. I have started, even though I've been in this business 22 years, your business will constantly change. My business has evolved many times. My business has evolved over 22 years. And your standard operating procedures will constantly change also. So that's one thing that we talk a lot about in the membership side is SOPs, right? SOPs. I've got a Friday SOP, a Saturday SOP, for the things that get done automatically. That's what she's talking about there, right? Yeah, you're over 5 years. Yes, definitely. And protect your ass. I mean, that's truly is what your errors and omissions insurance is for. And let me see, honestly, in 22 years, the only time I've ever had to call upon my errors and omissions insurance was one time one of my agents sold a vacant piece of property, and it was out in the country kind of a thing, and the buyer wanted it to park cars on. Essentially just park junk cars on. That's what he bought this lot for. And he thought he could do this in this residential area, this equestrian area. And, he tried to claim that my agent told him that he would be able to do that. And so I get this letter from an attorney, the buyer's attorney, 5-6 months after closing, after he, of course, gets his nose smacked from the city trying to do something like that, I'm sorry, let me get rid of that. Anyway, so you get that, that takes your breath away when you get one of them letters, right? And so you just call your errors and omissions insurance, and, you make sure that your shit is together with your paperwork. That's the truth. Because let me tell you what, if somebody's going to sue you, they're not going to sue you the day something happens. They're not going to sue you the week something happens. It's going to come back. If it comes back to bite you, it's going to come back to bite you 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, right? So that's why, get it in writing is so very important in this business, because if you had to go back and look at your paperwork 2 years ago and, do you have adequate notes of conversations of what's happened, or, your paperwork? I mean, in all reality, as long as your paperwork is in line, that's really all that stands up. Your notes, your personal notes, they're good to have as backup, but that attorney really wants to see your contract. and what's in writing. And so, of course, with what was in writing, not verbal, they were able to squash that situation. So that was that. That's the only time I've really ever had to use my errors and omissions insurance. Knock on wood. Okay. But, I've had situations that have still popped up, that I've been able to either handle myself or, that I didn't necessarily involve my errors and omissions insurance, because I can be pretty much a bulldog when I want to be too, I can draft a strongly worded letter as well, so there have been multiple situations where I have had to handle a particular situation with maybe just a phone call from the hotline, the legal hotline. Those who know me or know my story a little bit, Jake and I started our business. We got our sales licenses and we immediately formed our own corporation of record. And we hired a local broker to be the broker of record. And he was just an old man. He did not care. He just wanted to collect his override check. And we were off to the races. We created our own brand. We operated out of our home. And, we originally started a brokerage because we were flippers, and we wanted to cut out the middleman, so that's how we got off to the races and running. But, we never had anybody tell us how to do this business. Of course, I was a mortgage broker for 17 years and an entrepreneur and self-employed as a mortgage broker. So I kind of knew what to do, right? But, today that opportunity is definitely, called something else today. You think that you're operating like a brokerage, but you're powered by someone. Don't be powered by someone. Be your own. You'll never look back. I'm telling you, when you learn to call your own shots, you'll never look back. Okay? All right, I'm just babbling now at this point, to be honest with you. Is there anything anybody else wants to add? We're just running through these 101 ways to make money in real estate. I'm here every Friday at 11 o'clock. And if there's anything I can do to ever help you, let me know. I do offer some coaching services. I do, some workshops. If you want to jump into one of those are, not intimidating at all. Or I do one-on-one coaching. So you're welcome to give me a private message if you'd like to talk about what you need, okay, to build your business. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go jump over to my business page and say hello to my avatar. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.